Am I the asshole for telling my mom she's not my kid's mom? Throwaway because I just want a verdict and to be done with it. So for background, I 28 female and my husband 30 male have 2 kids. 7 male and 4 female. My mother is actually a great grandmother. She lives the kids and is very helpful, but she has this habit overstepping. So both our kids do chores. We give them things to do that they're capable of doing. Like my son does the dishes sometimes after dinner. My daughter will help set and clean up the table afterwards. Those kinds of things. My mom came to visit us recently and I've been noticing she's been doing this thing. She stops my son from whatever chore he's doing and does it for him, but if she sees my daughter doing something she won't. At first I thought she just didn't want her grandkids to do work because she often calls me a cold mother for making them do chores, but then I figured out the pattern and it rubbed me the wrong way because I remembered she used to do the same thing to me. My brothers would do nothing while I did everything, so I started correcting her and making my son finish his chores himself, which made her really agitated. Yesterday we were having dinner and my daughter and husband were clearing up the table because it was my son's turn to do the dishes. She tried stopping him, but I told him to the dishes and took her outside. She told me I'm so cold for making my son wash dishes and why couldn't I do it? I explained to her that we like to split chores evenly in the house and if he's capable he should. It was like 5 plates and cups and a few spoons. She kept going and she called me lazy, something she would often do whenever I asked my brothers to help me out with chores. Here's where I may be an asshole. I told her she's one to talk after making me clean up after everybody my whole life. I told her I'm not going to enable my son to be FC King losers like her sons. My little brother literally had to be spoon-fed until he was 10 because he refused to eat if my mom didn't feed him. I was apparently ill-treating my son by making him do all these chores. I told her I'm teaching him to be independent and that she may have raised 2 boys, but she's not my kid's mom, so she should FCK off when I'm trying not turn my son into an incompetent asshole. She left crying. My dad called and told me she's moping around. My husband says it was deserved, but he really doesn't like my mother because he's seen over the years how she treats me compared to how she treats my brothers. Did I go too far? And any advice is appreciated, thank you. I don't think you went too far. I think your son will appreciate learning how to be a capable person. Your daughter will appreciate being treated fairly. Rock on, mom. You got this. Thumbs up. Not the asshole. My husband says it was deserved, but he really doesn't like my mother because he's seen over the years how she treats me compared to how she treats my brothers. Well, yeah, of course he doesn't. He has all the evidence. Your mom treats you like crap, FYI. Sounds like you don't even realize how much she talks down to you after a lifetime of it. A good husband would hate your mother. You found a good husband. Way to go for finding your backbone and your voice. You deserve so much praise for breaking the negative cycle your mother started. She wronged you and she wronged her sons too. She can stay home and mope. And also FYI, if she's undermining you and your parenting, she's not a good grandma. She's actually not a great grandmother if she treats your kids differently like she did you and your brothers. There's absolute nothing great about that behavior. Goodness knows what else she says to them. You reached your limit, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your mom is really sexist, favors your son, and should not be allowed to see either kid until she cleans up her act. That kind of favoritism is damaging, both to the favored as well as the unfavored child. She is not a good grandmother. She is teaching your son to be useless and your daughter that she should accept uselessness and clean up after men. Am I the asshole for asking my sister-in-law not to call my husband, daddy? My husband 53 male and I 40 female have been married for 2 years. I'm his second wife and we have no kids together, but he has 28 female, from his previous marriage. His parents have a beach house that everyone spends time at and we're usually all there around the same time due to school break schedules. My sister-in-law 50 female and brother-in-law 50 male, husband's brother, were there, along with my husband and I and a few other people including my husband's kid, 28 female. We were all sitting around the table drinking and playing games when my sister-in-law starts calling her husband, daddy. Understandable, they've got 2 kids together, she probably uses this term around their house. A few minutes go by, and I hear her yelling at my husband, calling him, daddy, trying to get his attention. I immediately mention to her that I find that weird and to please not call him that. Later I find out through my husband's daughter, 28 female, that on a different occasion sister-in-law was talking to daughter 28 female, and said, I love, but your dad, he's my person. Am I the asshole for thinking something untoward is going through SIL's mind? Should I confront sister-in-law and ask her to clarify what she means by using these terms? Girl Sil literally admitted to wanting your husband, absolutely not. And her calling your husband daddy is weird AF, and I don't understand why Bill doesn't have a problem with that, and your husband needs to immediately establish boundaries with her. He should be the one telling her to stop, not you. Info, that's creepy, and you asking once isn't asshole behavior. Has she been calling him that for long? How does your husband feel about being called a sexually charged nickname by his brother's wife? Have they previously been romantically or sexually involved? Has she been asked to stop before you asked her to? Has she continued to call him that after she's been asked to stop? Your sister-in-law sounds like what my sister and I would call a goat face. We grew up on a farm and our mum raised goats. Male goats will pee on their own faces, beards to attract all the female attention. Your sister-in-law, or goat face, is flexing her dominance with the males in the room. She calls her husband by an endearment, then tried to get away with calling yours the same. I'm betting she does this with her friends' hubbies too. Good for you for nipping it in the bud, but I also agree with others here. You need to find out off your husband why she thinks this is okay to do and if it's usual behavior. Not the asshole. Have you asked your husband why she would do that? This sounds like an affair happening or she's hoping for one. Affairs between in-laws are not unheard of and they are all close in age. I would be suspicious and asking a lot of questions, especially to my husband. Info. Have you asked your husband about this first? Perhaps she always has addressed him this way? Right now you only have hearsay for the daughter. Before confrontation with the ask your husband. Just casually being it up on conversation, that you're curious as to why she calls you daddy. Am I the asshole for taking a job that's twice the amount I've ever made and would solve my financial problems? Got offered a job for $60,000 plus a year. Only problem is I'd have to work weekends. My girlfriend works MF and has weekends off. Her one requirement is that I also don't work weekends. It has made my job search significantly more difficult and I said screw it and went to an interview anyways. They offered me the job and I want to take it, but now she is freaking out. I've been in a financial hole for years now and this job would help bring me out of it. I've been depressed for years due to finances. This would be life-changing for me. We have lived together for 8 years and she said we are done if I accept this job. She'd rather have me make $40,000 a year for now if it means I get weekends off for us to spend together. This job also has full benefits which I have never had. I need health and dental, etc. Would I be the asshole to accept the job? She keeps saying I'm being unreasonable and choosing money over her. Edit. Okay, after all these comments of her being the asshole, I'm starting to feel bad now. She's always made more money than me and has supported me financially at times more than I'd like to admit. I've always been less financially stable than her and recently we bought a house because she didn't want to keep living in an apartment and to have nicer things in life. It's became harder now that we live in a house. She pays most often the mortgage but I pay the electric, water, internet, etc. Do all the cleaning, housework, yard, fixing up the house, etc. Now we are both struggling but I just need a better job to help out more. Obvi she doesn't want me having this job because the weekend thing and she said I could just find a different job that I can make more dollar working MF. Like going into a trade etc. The job I was offered was a restaurant manager for a popular franchise which suits me since I've managed restaurants in the past. We are 26 female and 28 male. I've been in a financial hole for years now and this job would help bring me out of it. Carrot, you don't have the luxury of passing up this job. Not the asshole. Partners are there to lift you up, not hold you down. She should be delighted for you. After 8 years, if her reaction to something this life-changing in the most positive way is, I'll break up with you, then let her. Or better yet, do it for her. Here's my dad advice. Take the job. Get a new girlfriend. Looks like she doesn't realize you could still see each other MF in the evenings while also sad and sun in the evenings, too. Assuming it's not a night job. She also doesn't understand that a financially secure, less stressed you is actually better for her in the long run. She's a knucklehead. Godspeed to you. Not the asshole. Why does she get to put requirements on your job? If she doesn't want to be with you over this, next time it will just be something equally ridiculous. I'd be done with her over that ultimatum anyway. My friend, I'm so sorry that you are with a woman who is so selfish and insecure that she needs to hold you back from financial freedom and independence. You can either have a partner who lifts you up or brings you down. Yes, there are challenges with working weekends and there are things that you two may possibly have to sacrifice. But the fact is, you live together. You will see each other regardless. She's giving you an ultimatum to get her way and isn't even slightly considering how badly she's trying to control your life and hold you back. Not the asshole. Take the job and build a future for yourself. You're not choosing money over her, you're choosing financial security and less stress. Saying that I can understand that she wants a partner she can spend quality time with. She doesn't get to dictate what hours you work, that's your choice. But she can decide she doesn't want a partner who works weekends. That's her choice. Am I the asshole for telling my teacher she can't deduct marks over putting citations in my work? I, 17F, I'm currently taking summer school for 12th grade physics. Recently, we were asked to create an infographic as a group on a topic under the waves and light unit. My other two group members, both 17F, wrote our assignment on the topic of heat mirages. After spending hours on the task, we decided to add our citations on a page below the infographic. This was not explicitly asked on the assignment, however, we wanted to be academically honest students and put down our sources anyway. This morning, we received our grades back. We achieved a level 3, 70s range, and as highly achieving students, this felt absurd to us. However, the feedback that was provided said we gave the output of a level 4, but were instead brought down to a level 3. The reason? Citations were not asked for this assignment. I will take off 1 mark under individual work. 3/4. Quote. Yes, that is the only comment our group received as feedback on our work. The decrease had nothing to do with the quantity or quality of our work. We decided to confront the teacher as soon as possible. Why were we losing a whopping 15% of our grade over putting down our sources? When the 3 of us approached her, she was very rude and condescending about it, stating, "You should read the instructions next time. Actions have consequences, and you shall receive consequences for not following instructions accordingly." I attempted to negotiate further, but the teacher would not budge. She got angry and cut the conversation early before any of my other group members could get a chance to speak after me. We are very upset over losing such a huge percentage of our grade on this assignment over adding citations of all things. I believe that if she wishes to use such an excuse and penalize us over not following instructions, she should have at least given us a 4 instead of dropping us down as far as a 3. Especially since this is a 12th grade course, it is very important for me to do the best I can. I need physics as a prerequisite for my desired university programs, and this will not only drastically impact my grade, but my group members as well. Am I the asshole? You should read the instructions next time. Actions have consequences, and you shall receive consequences for not following instructions accordingly. Unless the instructions said not to include citations, the teacher is full of shit. Ask her where the instructions were that you were not to include citations. You did not disregard directions. Doing more than was asked for is not the same as defying instructions. You need to take this higher. Probably getting your parents involved. I always told my kids to deal with an issue and let me know if or when they needed me. This woman doesn't not sound reasonable or respectful. I wouldn't screw around. Not the asshole. You didn't fail to do the assignment, which would make sense to penalize. You did the assignment, plus extra. You shouldn't be penalized for doing a better job than was asked. The teacher is being petty in a way that hurts you unfairly. I suggest going over her head and getting this corrected. It's really not fair. Not the asshole. Adding citations is the default expectation in most assignments. Is there someone else you can talk to, or a process for challenging grades at your institution? Also, losing 1 mark out of 4 is 25%, not 15%. Not the asshole. Also, what kind of school do you go to where they accept work without citations? Especially for senior students, that to me is wild. Not the asshole. If I were you, I would absolutely be contacting higher ups to see about getting it reversed. This is just petty.